Tampa Bay Rays going long ball against the Yankees here tonight.
We knew we were in for a dogfight. They're not going to let up.
The Rays a win away from advancing to the ALCS.
We've been in this position before. It's just about how we respond. It's win or go home.
We have arrived. Game 4 of this ALDS from picturesque San Diego, California. Welcome from Petco Park, the home of the San Diego Padres and the home of this American League Division Series. Randy Arozarena, he has been on a tear, making a name for himself in this postseason, as has Giancarlo Stanton. An historic start to this 2020 postseason. Yankees in the pinstripes. This is Game 4, Yankees-Rays. The 2020 American League Division Series is presented by Ut Snacks. The Yankees winning Game 1. Tampa Bay coming back with victories in Games 2 and 3. And now they have a chance to eliminate the Yankees. Meanwhile, New York trying to advance one more day to force a decisive Game 5. And with that, we welcome you from San Diego. Brian Anderson along with Ron Darling. We'll hear from Lauren Shahade in just a moment. Well, we've arrived here at elimination possibility for the Tampa Bay Rays. This is a ball club that had the best record in the American League this year. 40 wins, 20 losses, and they have put the Yankees on the brink here in Game 4.
You know, Brian, everything went smoothly in Game 1 for the Yankees. They had their ace on the mound. Garrett Cole was unbelievable. But in Game 2, they tried the opener. It did not work. Then they expected a big effort from Tanaka in Game 3. That did not happen. So tonight they need a young starter, Jordan Montgomery, who had Tommy John surgery and worked himself back to 10 starts this season. He's had some good moments, but really his job is to get the Yankees to win somehow so they can get to Garrett Cole in Game 5.
Garrett Cole looming for a potential Game 5 if Montgomery can help him get there. Now, meanwhile, offensively for the Yankees, the headliner, Giancarlo Stanton. I feel like a broken record here in this series, but he keeps hitting home runs. He's hit home runs in 5 consecutive games. He has 6 home runs in this postseason. He has set some Major League Baseball history. First major leaguer to homer in each of his team's first 5 postseason games, and the 13 RBIs, also a Major League record in his first 5 postseason games as well. That's been the significant plus for the Yankees offensively, and he's moved up in the lineup here tonight. All right, for the Tampa Bay Rays, they know they are at a position where they can advance and make it to the American League Championship Series. While the Yankees are uncomfortable with the opener in Game 2, the team that invented the opener and are extremely comfortable are the Tampa Bay Rays, and they've got the opener tonight.
They are. They're going to go with Ryan Thompson, who opened 1 game this year. It was against the Yankees, and he went 2 innings. Their record this year was 7-1 in 8 opening starts. Over the course of the last 3 years, 63 and 42. The key for Ryan Thompson, just get that ball to the bulk innings pitcher.
Thompson, the sidewinder, will get it started. The Rays offense, so-so in the regular season. They have been dominant here in the postseason, Ronnie.
They have. They've even got some production from down the bottom of the order. Kiermaier with a big 3-run home run last night. Michael Perez with a home run to left center field. They are the best front runners in the business. They have scored more runs in the first 2 innings. They're 26-6 when they score first.
And you look at the numbers compared to the regular season, everything is up. Runs per game, batting average, OPS, and they've almost doubled up their home run production here in this postseason. The Tampa Bay Rays up 2-1 in this series. That has been the best bat we've seen in the postseason. Randy Arozarena defecting from Cuba. It is an incredible story. Lauren Shahade will share that when we continue as we get set for first pitch in San Diego. Randy Arozarena turning into a star right in front of our eyes. Sends it deep into left. She's gone. Unstoppable.
Hottest hitter in all of the postseason.
Nobody is surviving Randy Arozarena right now. And there goes another one for Arozarena.
When a guy is that red hot, you can't believe it sometimes.
Is brought to you by Ut Snacks, irresistible homestyle flavors. By Geico, happy Geico-ing. You can save even more by bundling home and car insurance. And by T-Mobile, connecting fans in all 50 states with America's largest 5G network. T-Mobile is your ticket to the game.
Beautiful Thursday night, Gaslamp District. We're here at Petco Park. There is Randy Arozarena, 12 hits, 3 consecutive games with a homer. We have watched in awe of his performance in this postseason. And Lauren Shahadi, it's even more impressive when you consider the backstory, how he arrived to this moment.
Indeed. Who the heck is he, B.A.? Juan Toribio of The Athletic tells the story beautifully. He grew up in Cuba, playing for the Cuban national team. His dad was his biggest fan, never missed a practice, never missed a game. And one night he was watching Randy play from the stands, had a plate of seafood, had an intense allergic reaction, and later passed. Randy was completely devastated. He didn't know what to do. He knew he had to support his family. So he told his mom, I'm leaving. I'm defecting from Cuba. I'm going to go to Mexico, play baseball, and I'm going to make some money for our family. Of course, his mom, who had just lost the dad, was worried she would never see him again. But she said, I'm not going to stand in the way of your dream. So Randy, along with 6 others, got in a glorified kayak across the Gulf of Mexico, shark-infested waters. He knew some people lived, some people didn't. He said, that was the risk I was willing to take for my family. So that is the story there. If you ever wonder why he plays the game with such joy, it's because he literally risked his life to be here.
And listening to his teammates, Lauren, it has been so impressive how they rally around Randy Arozarena with the Cardinals last year in the playoffs, but he's become a star here in the postseason this season. Rays are the visiting team here once again for Game 4. They will bat first against the big left-hander Jordan Montgomery. And here is the batting order. Yandy Diaz will lead off. He's the designated hitter. Brandon Lau, then Arozarena. In the middle, Ji-Man Choi, Manny Margot, then Joey Wendell, Willie Adames, Kevin Kiermaier, and Mike Zunino round out the starting 9 for Kevin Cash's Tampa Bay Rays. And that's the hurler they will face, Ron Darling. It'll be Jordan Montgomery, the big left-hander.
A big left-hander, and he pitches big, Brian, straight over the top with his fastball and good breaking ball. Also has a little cutter against right-handed hitters and a change. The defense, and who he'll be throwing to tonight, will Kyle Higashioka behind the plate. That started 2 of the 3 games, 3 out of the 4 games now so far for Higashioka. Urshela, Torres, LeMahieu, Voit in the infield, and in the outfield, Gardner, Hicks, and Judge.
Another beautiful scene. There is some haze here, so not the harsh shadows that we saw yesterday in Game 3. Todd Tichenor in the spotlight tonight. He'll call the balls and strikes. Over at first base is Marvin Hudson. Mike Easterbrook is the second base umpire. David Rackley has third base tonight. And the 2 outfield umpires, C.B. Buckner and Mark Carlson. There's the crew chief, Mark Carlson, who had to play last night. That's the 6-man umpiring crew. All the pieces in place. And we are ready to play ball. Game 4 of this American League Division Series with the Rays in an elimination opportunity against the Yankees. And the first pitch on the way in there for a strike, and away we go.
Aaron Boone said the key for Montgomery's success tonight, control the count. He's got pitches to put hitters away, but he's got to work ahead in the count.
Kevin Cash has his leadoff man as his designated hitter once again here tonight. That has happened 4 of the 5 postseason games for the Tampa Bay Rays for the last 5. So Diaz, Lau, Arozarena, and Montgomery deals it, and that one's in the air right center. That's going to get down a base hit. Yandy Diaz with his first hit of the postseason, and they are excited for him in that Tampa Bay dugout. This team is so well connected, Ronnie. There's a culture. In an analytics world, the culture doesn't get much of the headlines, but you can tell they really like each other. They pull for one another.
Diaz was the leadoff hitter in Game 1. He hit 4 ground balls to the left side. Kevin Cash says he's never seen him do that. Watch him work up the middle and to the right side, and he did with that base hit.
So a man on right away. Here is Brandon Lau. A struggling hitter right now. He's on the first pitch. A bouncer right to first. Voit steps on the bag. Fire to second. Got to get a tag down. And it is in time for the out. Nifty play by Voit. Good feet and a strong throw that gave Torres a chance to get the tag down. once he stepped on the bag, that took away the force. So a double play, 2 outs, 1 swing of the bat from Lowe.
You know, Brian, they water the dirt in front of the plate here, so that kept that ball from bounding over the head of Voit with the throw to second base. And you saw the slide by Diaz, which was not good. It was to the outside of the bag, which really allowed Torres to put on the tag. If he had gone straight in, he might have been safe. But nice feet, nice throw by Luke Voit.
Looked like Voit put a little sling on that throw. He threw a little sinker over there around the base runner. Randy Arozarena takes a ball high. T-Mobile base can. You see Diaz coming to the backside of the bag. And a good tag by Torres. Arozarena takes a strike. Gets the high strike here. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Key, though, one of the first pitchers on the Yankee staff to get inside on Arozarena for a strike.
Extra base hits each of his team's first 5 games. He had home runs in the first 2 games in the first inning. Had a base hit in the first inning yesterday, and then he eventually homered off Tanaka. That was his only pull home run thus far. He's homered in each of the first 3 games in this division series. And a swing and a miss. That's a good start for Jordan Montgomery after a leadoff single, double play ball, and a strikeout. 8-pitch inning for the big lefty. We go to the bottom half of the first inning, and the Rays going with an opener tonight. Ryan Thompson will get the start. Not figuring to be out there long. Let's take a look at that Yankees batting order turned in by Aaron Boone. It's DJ LeMahieu, the batting champion in the AL. Aaron Judge, then Aaron Hicks. Giancarlo Stanton and Luke Voit flip-flop in the batting order tonight. Brett Gardner and Gleyber Torres flip-flop as well. And then it rounds out with Urshela and Higashioka. 3 starts in this series for Higashioka. There is strike 1 to DJ LeMahieu, and Ronnie set us up with Ryan Thompson.
Well, he only opened once this year. Ironically, it was against the Yankees on August 8th. He went 2 innings, didn't give up a hit, no runs.
Interesting that Aaron Boone, as LeMahieu a swing and a miss. As you look at that lineup, some of the philosophy behind it. Notice that he moved Gardner up in the lineup, and so that the lone left-handed bat for the New York Yankees will come. Now Hicks is a switch hitter, but that left-handed bat of Brett Gardner comes 5th in the 6th in the batting order, I should say. So maybe trying to force the hand a little bit. LeMahieu, oh, what a play at third base, and Wendell can't get the throw to connect. A short hop to Choi, who couldn't pick it, and LeMahieu is safe. Some play, though, just couldn't finish it off with a throw.
Kevin Cash was telling us today that they consider Joey Wendell as good as any third baseman defensively in the league. And what a great play. The 1-hop throw, but it was a short hop and a real tough play for Ji-Man Choi, who is known to do the splits. He did it there, but couldn't come up with the ball.
So that'll go as an infield hit. Wendell does prevent an extra base hit, but the Yankees start this game with a single from LeMahieu. And here is Aaron Judge. Judge in the postseason this season, 3 for 23. 2 of those 3 hits are home runs. Does have 4 runs batted in. If you go back into last season, he's 5 for his last 35 now. And a bat the Yankees desperately need. They came out swinging the bat so well in the first 3 games of this postseason run, sweeping the Indians in 2. Scored 22 runs in that 2-game sweep of Cleveland in the wild card series. A wave and a miss.
So since he hit the first pitch against Shane Bieber in his first at bat for a home run, he's only 2 for 22.
Did homer on Blake Snell. Game 1 of this postseason. Ryan Thompson in a 1-2 count with Judge at the plate, and can't get him to bite.
Thompson, you're basically going to see two pitches. That good hard fastball that'll sometimes sink, and then that sweeping breaking ball.
Kevin Cash telling us he is trying to get as opposite end of the spectrum as he could possibly be with his opener Ryan Thompson, and then a phrase you'll hear a lot of, the bulk pitcher, meaning the next pitcher who will have multiple innings, the bulk pitcher, and that'll be Yarbrough. And so you're trying to give the opposition as different of a look as you could find, and he thinks he has that in Thompson and Yarbrough. There's a swing and a miss, tied him up, just ran one up and in on Judge. And committed to swing, down it goes, and the first out for Thompson is a strikeout.
Well, after that slider that was a foot outside, he ran this fastball in on him, and diving was Judge, and boy, that ball almost hit him as he was swinging at that pitch to strike out. Yeah, Kevin Cash was saying that contrast plays, and you won't have any more of a contrast than Ryan Thompson and Yarbrough if he comes in.
It's not a given that Ryan Yarbrough will be automatically the next pitcher for the Rays. That's the plan A, I think, for Kevin Cash. But in a game like this, when you have a chance to close out a team, you do whatever is necessary based on the situation. And he's certainly hopeful that Ryan Thompson can be an opener that can give him multiple innings.
And I think the Yankees are trying to fight to get the lead here, score early, take some pressure off their young pitcher.
Aaron Hicks, the switch hitter at the plate, and a little bouncer over to Choi, and he'll take the sure out at first base. 2 outs in the inning. LeMahieu advances to second base. And now Aaron Boone with the flip-flop in his lineup. Instead of Luke Voigt, it's going to be Giancarlo Stanton coming up here with 2 away. Well, all of you finishing up with the A's and the Astros. Congratulations to the Houston Astros beating the A's today, advancing to the American League Championship Series. We are just underway here at Petco Park in San Diego. The Rays got a leadoff single from Yandy Diaz, then a double play and a strikeout for Jordan Montgomery. And we're here in the bottom of the first inning. 2 outs. Giancarlo Stanton, who has been on an historic run. Stanton has homered in 5 consecutive games to start his postseason. He's hit 6 homers in that span. Pops him up here. That's going to be out of play. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. So there is the bulk pitcher, Ryan Yarbrough, as he begins his preparations to enter this game at some point. Those of you just joining us, if you're watching the A's and the Astros, Kevin Cash going with an opener here tonight in game 4. Chance for Tampa Bay to win this series and advance to the ALCS for a rematch with the Houston Astros. That series was in the ALDS of last year. Yankees hoping to get the ball to Garrett Cole tomorrow somehow, some way. Did he go? He did not. First base umpire Marvin Hudson with palms down.
You're right about forcing the hand of Cash. You have Brett Gardner batting. The check swing. I think that was a good call.
LeMahieu at second, started with an infield hit. And a swing and a foul tip right into the middle of Zunino. That's a strikeout. And the opener, Ryan Thompson, does his job, puts up a 0 in the first. To the second we go. We are scoreless, and we are underway in game 4 of this American League Division Series. First inning. Looks like he'll get another inning, at least to start the second with the opener. You never know.
Exactly.
We'll be keeping an eye on that Tampa Bay Rays bullpen. But 0s to start it. We go to the second now. Jordan Montgomery back on the mound. He surrendered a hit to the first batter he faced. Got a double play, then a strikeout. And facing Ji-Man Choi to start this second inning. Choi's had a nice run here. Hit a key home run earlier in this series of Garrett Cole in game 1. He's 3 for 9. He's got a home run and 3 runs batted in. He's walked 3 times as well.
Hi.
Rays have been playing long ball with Yankee pitching. They hit 3 home runs last night, hit 4 home runs in their game 2 win, and had a couple of homers in game 1 even. And he's been right at the front of the list. Randy Arozarena, who has homers in 3 straight games. That's a jam shot roller over to first base. Voit right there for Montgomery. There is out number 1. One away. Montgomery making the biggest start of his life, Lawrence Shahadi, and he's gone to a pretty good source to get some inspiration for a start of this magnitude.
It's true. He's like a sponge with CC Sabathia, and he also decided he needed to change something coming off Tommy John. Didn't feel like he was maximizing his athletic output. Hired Eric Cressey, who's considered the best in the business at high performance training, and Jordan felt immediately he had more functional strength. He was throwing harder than in years past, and one day Jordan gets a call from Cressey. Eric says, well, the Yankees hired me, so I'm with you for good, and you don't even have to pay me anymore.
Nice. Put it on the company tab. I like that.
Well, it's amazing how many guys go through that process of Tommy John surgery and come out the other end in better shape and stronger and throwing harder.
Ball and a strike on Manuel Margot. Tommy John surgery in June of 18 for Montgomery after a terrific rookie year with the Yankees. And as he's gotten stronger and stronger, and they typically say, right, Ronnie, the second year back from Tommy John surgery, that's when the feel comes back.
That's
the pain is gone immediately, but the feel comes back. And there have been some dominant moments this year for Montgomery, and I think that's why Aaron Boone feels fortunate and is optimistic about what he's going to be able to do here tonight. Margot on the ground, backhanded, nice and easy over there. Urshela makes a play for the out. 2 up, 2 down for Montgomery.
Already 4 outs on the ground for Montgomery, who went to Sumter High School in South Carolina, University of South Carolina Gamecock. I mean, this is not the easiest of plays, but Urshela is so good, it's like a walk in the park.
2 quick outs. Lauren mentioned CC Sabathia. I talked to CC earlier today about Montgomery, and he said that's my guy. He took him under his wing, and he's been very impressed with the way he's come back from Tommy John surgery. The fastball has started to increase in velocity, and CC Sabathia was saying earlier that he's got a good disposition on the mound, especially with Higashioka behind the plate. That's a good pairing. They're good friends. Higashioka has earned more playing time here with these Yankee pitchers. He's also hit a little bit. Higashioka has hit a home run in this series, had one in game 1. But when you're making a start like this, good to have somebody behind the plate that can set you at ease, and he certainly does. Joey Wendell way out in front. There's the equalizer right there.
Yes.
That big sweeping curveball. And because of that curveball and the difference between his fastball, there's a big discrepancy in exit velocities. One of the better pitchers in the game at low exit velocity off the bat by the opposition hitters. Take a look inside the numbers presented by DraftKings. And you got 2 of the 4 on this list.
That's
Ryan
right.
Yarbrough we might see in a little bit, but Montgomery 84.6 is the average exit velocity off the bat by the opponent.
3 young left-handers and Maeda, who had a brilliant year in Minnesota.
2-2 the count. And a swing and a foul tip into the mitt. It's a strikeout, and Montgomery finishes both innings with Ks. That authentic caps, tees, jerseys, hoodies, and more. You can get all your postseason gear and cheer on your team at home with the official source, MLBshop.com. Thursday night, San Diego. We're at Petco Park, neutral site, home of the ALDS and ALCS. Back on the mound is Ryan Thompson. He'll face Luke Voit to start it. So we'll see how long Kevin Cash wants to stick with Thompson as long as he's getting outs. Obviously, he will stay.
Especially with the big right-handed lineup of the Yankees. 15 pitches he threw in the first inning, 21 in game 1.
Thompson deals to Voit, and a swing and a drive. That is way back and way gone, and Voit knocks one out of here to put the Yankees on the board first. His first of the postseason, a flip-flop in the batting order, and Voit, a no-doubter, had gone 46 at-bats since his last home run, and he's got the Yankees on the board in the second inning.
Sometimes when you watch Thompson, he doesn't always disguise that slider. He'll slow his arm down just a little bit, and this one just sat right in the middle of the plate. And Voit, who led the majors in home runs, gets another one.
Hit 22 home runs this season. Had a monster year, did Luke Voit, but he's been quiet in this postseason until now, and that's a big one that gives the Yankees the lead here tonight. His first career postseason home run. Thompson gets ahead of Brett Gardner. Luke Voit needed that one. Does have 2 RBIs now in this postseason, but to finally get your first home run when you've led the AL and the majors in home runs, also 4th in the majors in runs batted in this year. That's a good feeling. That's when you go stand next to Giancarlo Stanton and say, hey, you're not the only one who can hit the long ball around here.
He's been nursing a sore foot. That's the best way to take care of it.
Let's check in with Lauren Shahadi. She's got more on Voit.
Brian, I spoke with Luke's college coach, Keith Gutton of Missouri State. He told me Luke was always going to put in the work, but what he's proudest of is his ability to harness his emotions, something he had trouble doing as a young ball player. He's extremely proud of him and wonders why he didn't hit as many home runs for Missouri State as he has for the Yankees.
And what was the story, Lord? Remember his grandmother used to pay him like $25 for a home run? I mean,
for an opposite field.
Surely that day's over now. That's going into the wallet a little bit right there. Grandma Joan, I remember that. Up and in.
Boy, only Gardner could have got away from that pitch with his quickness.
Looked like the Matrix right there, didn't he?
I mean, right at him.
Yikes. Whoa. Wow, coming right at your face. Leadoff home run. Yankees lead it. 2-2 the count. Gardner pops this one up foul and out of play. Count will remain at 2-2. I know these hitters were glad to see the haze come in here in San Diego at this 4 o'clock local start. Yesterday the shadows were pretty harsh, and pitchers took advantage in the first inning. It's about 30-45 minutes, but really no sense of that here tonight because the haze is in, and even though we're in the twilight part of the evening, pretty comfortable hitting conditions at this point. It's also much cooler tonight than it was last night. This will be the coolest temperature that we've had thus far. Low 70s, and it'll drift into the upper 60s before it's all said and done.
The San Diegans call it a marine layer, Brian.
Ah, I see. The moisture coming in. Ball's been flying out of this ballpark. There's been no marine layer to speak of.
Good at bat here by Gardner. You'd expect nothing less.
Always sees a lot of pitches. Gleyber Torres due next. Thompson giving up the home run to Voit, and now the 9th pitch of the at bat against Gardner, and he missed badly. Gardner will reach, and the Yankees get a man on. Started up again after the home run, and getting into decision time here for Kevin Cash.
You don't like to see your pitcher on a 3-2 count not be close to the dish, whether it's showing a little nerves or overthrowing, or Judge is like, whoa, and Stanton with a laugh.
There's always one of those guys too.
That's right.
That would have been funny if it hit him. Those 3 big boppers in a row right there, and Voit gets the Yankees started in this one. So Thompson will face Gleyber Torres. He and Gardner flip-flop in the batting order today. Torres hitting 7th. Urshela to follow, then Higashioka. And now a visit to the mound early. Kyle Snyder, the Rays pitching coach. Suddenly Thompson has lost it mechanically here, it would seem.
You know, he's a big athlete, a big pitcher, so it doesn't take too much to knock those tall guys out of whack. So Snyder trying to get him back on the tracks. There's Ryan Yarbrough out in the bullpen. He knows his time's coming.
Major League Baseball encourages fans to take an active role in their communities and make a plan to vote this election season. Visit MLB.com/vote to learn more. Thompson with a runner at first and Gardner. Gleyber Torres at the plate.
Sometimes you don't notice things unless you watch a team play enough. But Kyle Snyder has come out a lot and very early in counts to try to rectify his pitcher's mechanics. Sometimes pitching coaches wait a little too long after the at-bat is done.
And another one missed badly. Thompson falling behind here. 3 balls, no strikes on Torres after missing badly a couple of times against Gardner. And it walked him on 4 straight. So the Rays opener pitches a scoreless first. And now 2 on with nobody out after the home run. As Yarbrough continues to get loose in the Tampa Bay bullpen. Kevin Cash will let it ride.
He's probably happy that we can't lip read what he just said there.
Yeah, those masks provide protection for many. 2 on, nobody out. Urshela takes a ball.
Well, the Rays have won 10 out of 13 games this year against the Yankees, and part of the reason is the Yankees have been 13 for 81, 160 average with runners in scoring position in 2020.
Urshela had a notion and able to check his swing. That's 7 consecutive pitches out of the strike zone here for Ryan Thompson. And as eager as Kevin Cash is to maintain this matchup right on right, it's getting to the finish line soon here if Thompson can't rally. Big opportunity for the Yankees in this second inning. 2 on, nobody out. 2-0 the count on Urshela, and he takes a strike right down the middle.
Urshela taking all the way there. Very hard to swing the bat when a pitcher's thrown 7 consecutive balls.
Higashioka due next. Three balls and a strike. Close pitch misses. Urshela gets the benefit of the call there. One thing about Thompson, and I'm sure Kevin Cash and Kyle Snyder are hoping for this, is the potential of a ground ball double play, which always exists with a sidewinder like this, and that one misses. So Thompson has walked 3 straight. They are loaded now.
Well, we saw in last night's game, any of the close pitches kind of went the Tampa Bay Rays way. The close pitches are not tonight.
And one more hitter. Kevin Cash going to let it ride with Kyle Higashioka coming to the plate. They are loaded up full of Yankees after the Luke Voit home run. A 453-foot home run, by the way. And the Rays are going to bring their infield in. Nobody out. Bases loaded. Big spot early. Higashioka looking to do some damage, and a spinner in there for a strike. Got the benefit of a call that time.
Interesting to have the entire infield in. You would feel as though they would be pushed back in the middle for the double play. Higashioka does not run well. Extra uber aggressive by the Tampa Bay Rays.
Pitch number 37 for the reliever who made the start tonight. The opener, wave and a miss. Sweeping breaking ball, and now it's 0-2. Higashioka getting the playing time over Gary Sanchez. Homered in game 1. He's been excellent behind the plate, and he's up there in a big spot right now as he lays off. Ball and 2 strikes on the Yankee catcher. See what Thompson has in mind. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and a swing and a miss. He went back to the breaking ball, picks up a big strikeout. First out of the inning. That's his 3rd K.
Looks like Thompson has better control with his breaking ball right now, Brian, than he does with his fastball.
Tell you what, the first strike he threw with the breaking ball might have gotten the benefit of a call. It was on the inner half, but that changed the at-bat for Higashioka. Kevin Cash going to let this ride still as LeMahieu comes back around. Second time at the plate against Ryan Thompson. It's a very dangerous hitter at the plate. Won a 2nd batting title of his career. He's now posted batting championships in both leagues. One with the Rockies, one this year with the Yankees. He's got an 8-game hitting streak going overall, but a 12-game postseason hitting streak. And he's got a long streak going against the Rays as well. He's hitting 24 straight against Tampa Bay. Woo! And nobody hits the ball harder by percentage than DJ LeMahieu in the American League this year.
Thompson wants him to roll over that breaking pitch. LeMahieu, though, very good at going up the middle or the other way.
Yankees had a couple of shots with the bases loaded yesterday and didn't take advantage. Only scored 1 run. That is the distribution this year. A ton of ground ball outs.
Now, he hasn't had great control of his fastball. You could be feeling like you're going to get a breaking ball here on 2-1.
Remember, Voit hit a breaking ball out to start this inning. Fastball, and LeMahieu was late. He got it by him. 2-2 the count. The art of pitching.
Yeah.
One pitch leads to the next. How a game can set on the hinges of these offerings.
I was wrong. I thought he would come in with a pitch that he's had better control of, but he just fired that fastball right down the middle.
He hasn't been able to command the fastball, but that one was true with good life on it. Rays are set up to turn a double play that would get him out of the inning. Here's the pitch. LeMahieu in the air, right field. Margot under it, makes the play. Tagging at third is Gardner. He'll score easily, and DJ LeMahieu delivers a sacrifice fly. 2-0 Yankees.
Great at bat by LeMahieu. Tough slider he faced. He stayed on it and just poked it to right field for the sacrifice fly. And watch where this pitch is. Probably 3-4 inches off the plate, and he still makes it play. Margot really didn't have any chance at Gardner at home plate, so he hits the cutoff man. Very well done.
Maybe the throw should have gone to third, but advancing over there is Torres, and that's the end of the line for Ryan Thompson. So the opener is out. 2 runs in for the Yankees. Still runners at the corners, and here comes Ryan Yarbrough. We'll set him up after this.
Authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Well, the wheels are turning early here in Game 4 of this ALDS. Ryan Thompson, the opener for the Rays, an inning and 2/3. 3 consecutive walks in this second inning. The Yankees have 2 on the board, a home run by Voit and a sac fly by LeMahieu. And now, Ronnie, it's Ryan Yarbrough, and again, you get from one end of the spectrum to the other with the left-hander Yarbrough.
And we talked before about the contrast between Ryan Thompson's sinker slider from down under and Yarbrough, who's the guy that'll throw a lot of slow stuff, change-ups, dot his fastball, and a big breaking ball.
2 runners still Thompson's responsibility out there. They are at the corners for the Yankees, Torres and Urshela. And here is Aaron Judge.
2 for 5 career off Yarbrough.
Never know when those big moments come in a baseball game. And we sit here in the second in a big spot for Judge and the Yankees as he takes one inside. Yarbrough with that cut fastball, Ron, and one of the differences you're talking about, he can eat up right-handed hitters. So you see it left-hander versus right-hander, but he is excellent against right-handed bats.
Throws across his body, gives you a little different look.
He deals, and that one misses. 2 balls, no strikes.
I'd say that the Yankees have been very patient with all these walks, but really Thompson could not find the strike zone. They're pretty easy.
Hitters count for Judge. The 2-0, Judge on the ground. Wendell will fire it across the diamond in time, and Yarbrough comes on, does the job. Judge is retired. The Yankees strand 2, but they get 2 off Thompson, and the Yankees lead Game 4 2-0. Tampa Bay Rays, you know, 1 in 5 kids in the U.S. may not be able to afford to play ball next season. Text Little League to 313131, and T-Mobile will donate $1 to their Little League call-up grant program so our kids can keep playing ball. Willie Adames, whose nickname is the Kid, leading the way here for the Rays against Jordan Montgomery. Montgomery very efficient in the first 2 innings. Did give up a leadoff single to start the game, but an 8-pitch first inning, 12 pitches in the second inning, and he's shown everything he's got already. Fastballs, curveballs, changeups, and he deals a strike to Adames.
Very sharp in those first 2 innings, even considering that his last start was on September 24th. That's 13 days ago.
Higashioka caught him that start. He caught him 3 times this year. Caught his first start of the year on July 31st, and then a battery mate with Montgomery on September 7th, and then his final start of the regular season. 3-1 to count. Adames sends it foul and out of play. The one start against the Rays that Jordan Montgomery had was one to forget, September 2nd. Lasted just 2/3 of an inning, gave up 5 hits and 4 runs. Could not get through the first inning. Did give up a couple of homers. Arozarena got him that day. Brasso. 3-2 misses low, ball 4, and Adames draws the walk to start this 3rd inning. Check in with Lauren Shahadi. What do you got, Lauren?
You mentioned his nickname. Willie told me he was worried Ken Griffey Jr. would think this guy isn't me, but then he said, forget it. It's in honor of Griffey. I'm going to own it.
I like it. He's not only, I mean, you call him the kid, but he's a great leader for this team. He's always the one in motion. He's
high energy,
always talking and very encouraging, always a smile on his face. He was a hot hitter until the month of September, Adames. He's cooled off significantly since. Kiermaier, a swing and a miss. He had the big home run last night, a game breaker last night, 3-run home run off Tanaka.
Lauren got him to admit that he was looking for a breaking ball first pitch and got it. You don't get that from most hitters. They try to keep that private.
And another wave and a miss. This was last night. 2 on. Kiermaier got a first pitch slider from Tanaka and destroyed one. Out of the ballpark it goes. Hadn't homered in over a month. And this trend of the 8 and 9 hitters with the great success of the Rays. 3 home runs, 9 RBIs from the bottom 2 spots in the batting order. Kiermaier hits that one sharply into left field. Gardner on the chase, and Gardner can't get it, and it one hops out. So that'll be second and third now as Kiermaier goes to the opposite field. And now the Rays in business here in the 3rd inning.
I was going to just say that this would be the most important 0 that Montgomery could ever get to get through this lineup after his team scored him 2 runs. But good hitting by Kiermaier on an 0-2 count. Too good of a pitch from Montgomery, and 1 hop into the stands.
Threw him a fastball 0-2, and it wasn't high enough, and Kiermaier got on top of it. He's starting to come alive now. Here's Zunino. He's already popped a couple of home runs in this postseason. Michael Perez got the start behind the plate last night. Hit a key 2-run homer, drove in 3. Zunino back in there tonight. Second and third, nobody out. Fouls off the first pitch.
2-run lead. The infield's back for the Yankees. Zunino's got a lot of power, but he also is a guy that'll strike out a lot.
Zunino hit under 150 this year, batting average in the regular season. But he has a damaged bat at the plate. He can hit the long ball in a hurry, as we saw earlier in this series. He's the first player with a sub 150 average in the regular season to hit 2 or more homers in that postseason. So back when batting average used to matter, Ronnie. But you see what he's done here, and he's been a big part of the Rays' early damage. First 4 innings, averaging over 4 runs per game, 8 homers as well in the first 4 innings of postseason baseball through the first 5 games. That bounces in. Man, what a play back there by Higashioka. That hit him or the umpire?
I think it hit him. I mean, he literally blocked that ball standing up. That's how high the bounce was.
That was incredible. This is as good as it gets.
Spiked. He threw it about 50 feet.
Wow.
And you don't see a catcher very often rise up to block a ball.
It's like hitting a home run right there if you're a catcher. Incredible athleticism behind the plate from Higashioka to block that. I don't know what the percentages are, but I mean that's rare to see a catcher block a pitch like that. Very few can do it. Second and third, 1 ball 2 strikes now. And another one bounces in. Higashioka smothers that one too. 2-2 the count.
2 nervous tosses there by Montgomery. What happens when you get ahead of a hitter, and he just gave up a hit on an 0-2 count? He's trying to make sure that he throws that in the dirt, and he's overcompensating for it.
A hitter who strikes out a lot, but hits a lot of homers as well. Mike Zunino, 2-2 the count. And another one in the dirt, and thought about running Adames. He took 3 jab steps, but decided to retreat with nobody out. Wise move. Higashioka, I tell you what, man, this is, if you're teaching the position of catching. This particular sequence here is a clinic. Kept it close enough and pounced on it quickly. And Adames retreating. He thought about it.
See, when he hits his knees, he moves ever so forward to try to catch that ball on even a shorter hop.
From 0-2 to 3-2. And a wave and a miss. Took something off, and Zunino strikes out. That's a big K. Jordan Montgomery confident in the off speed and gets the strikeout for out number 1. And the Yankee pitching coach Matt Blake on his way to the mound. A little change up.
Circle change high up in the strike zone, but took enough off of that pitch that Zunino was out front. I find it remarkable to be able to throw a strike after bouncing 3 straight pitches.
Yeah, good call. One thing I'm interested to watch here with Jordan Montgomery, you know, there's been a lot of talk about the running game with Montgomery. We're not in that situation here at second and third, but I noticed in that last at bat, even though it's second and third, he's using a slide step. And I don't know if that's what Matt Blake would want to be discussing here, but if you look at the numbers for Montgomery, his opponent OPS, on base percentage plus slugging percentage by the hitter, much higher with runners on than when the bases are empty, when he goes back to that more traditional, the windup and the leg kick. All of those pitches with a slide step, even though there'd be no threat to steal here. See what he does with Yandy Diaz. There, it goes back to the leg kick. So I wonder if that's what they were looking at, because you know, you're in a slide step, you kind of falls into your rhythm to protect the running game, but maybe just not fully comprehending that that's not the scenario here.
Yeah, you don't have to keep anyone close. Yandy Diaz was so good for most of the season until he got injured for the Rays. .320 with runners in scoring position.
Two balls, no strikes on Yandy Diaz. Single to right, first batter of the game. Brandon Lau bounced into a double play immediately following. And then Montgomery had a strikeout to end that inning with 8 pitches. He's got 3 Ks now. Yankees scored twice in the second. Tampa Bay trying to answer here on the top of the third. Adames at third base. Kiermaier with the double at second.
You see Montgomery, when he gets in trouble, Brian, really hasn't thrown a lot of fastballs now. He's gone straight to all of his slow stuff, especially that good changeup.
Always grips it in the changeup grip to start, then can change it in the glove. There's the big leg kick, and that's a fastball that misses. Walked him on 4 straight. So wobbly here in this third inning for Jordan Montgomery. That gets the Yankee bullpen stirring a little bit.
Again, that pitch is outside. Higashioka tried to rip it into the zone, but leadoff walk and 2 walks in this inning after your team scores 2.
Now the bases are loaded here in this third inning. Yankees in desperation mode, facing elimination. That is Chad Green in the bullpen. Brandon Lau at the plate. This is Tampa Bay's best hitter. Aaron Boone did tell us, look, if we're in a fire situation, and this would certainly be a fire situation, he's going to go to one of his best relievers to get out of that. Davy Garcia would be in play to start an inning, he said.
And he doesn't have Green for a lot of pitches, so this would be the scenario he could use him, because he's used Green a lot.
Green struggled last night. He's been one of his best pitchers. Montgomery facing Lau, mired in a big slump right now, and he is down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes.
They've been pitching him upstairs with the fastball that he's been swinging through, and then the next pitch has been a breaking ball in the dirt, and he hasn't been able to lead off. Layoff, sorry.
Lyles 0 for 13 in the series, 2 for 21 in the postseason. Bounced into a double play ball his first time up. The bases are loaded, 1 away. And Montgomery going to the hat. That's a scouting report inside that hat.
Well, checking for the signs. What signs they're using.
And so they'll get it straight. Higashioka has the wristband with that same card. And the 0-2. Another one in the dirt. Tell you, if Montgomery gets out of this inning somehow, he is going to have a big hug for his catcher. He has had a ton of pitches in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Big leg kick. He deals it on the ground. LeMahieu's over, gloves it, throw to second, out there. A run will score, though. They have the shift on, made for an awkward setup. But they do get it out, the Yankees. Lau with an RBI, and the Rays are on the board for the first time.
What a play by LeMahieu. It was the only place he could go. Diving to his right. Torres had the hustle to get to the base, and with the shovel by LeMahieu, gets the force. This is how you win Gold Gloves. I mean, just a nice play and a difficult play with the shift for both infielders.
Lau coming out of the left side, good speed, no chance to turn him up. So now it's first and third, 2 men are out, and here is Randy Arozarena, the hottest Tampa Bay Ray hitter. And he takes a strike. If you're the Rays, this is the guy you want at the plate. He's got 10 home runs in his last 25 games. He hit 1 home run in his first 37 major league games. He's got 3 in a row in this series. Just missed.
Just hasn't missed any mistakes that the pitchers have made here in the postseason. Red hot.
Got 4 straight multi-hit games. Approaching a single season postseason record, which is 5 consecutive multi-hit games. First and third, 2 men are out. Here's a 1-1. 2 balls and a strike on Arozarena. Arozarena featuring one of the quickest bats in baseball. Tough to get a fastball by him. Out in front of that one. Foul ball. 2-2 the count on Arozarena.
He has a quick bat, Brian, but he hasn't been seeing that fastball in out of the hand of Montgomery.
See what he goes with here. 20 pitches through the first 2 innings. This will be the 28th pitch of this 3rd inning. Tying run at third. They're at the corners. 2-2 pitch on the ground, gobbled up by Urshela, and Montgomery's going to get out of it. That was developing as a mess for the big Yankee lefty, but he surrenders just 1. 2-1 Yankees. Yankees coming up in the bottom of the 3rd. You're watching the 2020 American League Division Series on TBS. It is presented by Utz Snacks. Great to have you with us here. Both teams kind of teetering that last inning, and I think a couple of pitchers feeling fortunate that they got out of those messes. Yarbrough came on to clean it up against the Yankees in the 2nd inning. Yankees scored twice, but left 2 on with Judge at the plate. Tampa Bay getting their first run of the ball game. They leave a pair as well in the top of this 3rd. Aaron Hicks leads the way, takes a strike. Stanton to follow, and then Luke Voit. Yarbrough delivers low and away. When you're dealing with an opener run, you hear the phrase the bulk pitcher, and this is the guy that has plenty of arm. He's basically built up like a starting pitcher, so that's the idea. Bridge the gap between the opener and the late relievers. One thing going for Tampa Bay tonight, and going on most nights for this club, is their excellent bullpen, and they're pretty much fully loaded here tonight. Cash said he'd even go with Castillo. That's a bouncing ball, broken bat. Adames, a long throw, no chance to get Hicks. Got him on the end of the bat, but Aaron Hicks able to find a hole, and it's an infield hit to start the third inning.
Well, anyone but Hicks and Gardner running for the Yankees, and maybe Adames has a chance. But great job of getting over that ball and trying to make the play. Great range from Adames we've seen in this series.
You know, he had a couple of errors yesterday, and that really burned him up. Any shortstop worth his salt does not sit well with errors. So a runner at first for Stanton. Can Stanton keep this incredible home run streak alive? 5 straight games with home runs to start this postseason. He's got 6 total home runs. Hit a grand slam out of here in game 1. That was a put away punch. Yankees won the opener 9-3. Had 15 hits. They hit 4 homers. Stan had a multi-homer game in game 2. That was a Rays 7-5 win. Two balls and a strike on Giancarlo Stanton. Yarbrough deals, shatters the bat. Got a chance to turn it here. Adames falls down. Short hop though to Choi. And you talk about turning lemons into lemonade. The Tampa Bay Rays somehow get a double play out of that. Bodies everywhere.
That was the ugliest but most impressive double play I've ever seen.
Everybody's on the ground, man. Choi, that was a great pick at first base.
Well, Adames is settled under it. He slips, but somehow gets enough on the throw. And Lau with the throw to Choi, who just cradles it.
Just exploding the bat of Stanton. Oh, you know what?
How about 2 hands by Choi there? I think he caught that more with his hand than he did with his glove.
And, you know, you don't want to be that guy, but if you're busting it down the line and you're Stanton, you got a chance to be safe right there. Instead, 2 outs. The ground ball double play. Here is Voit. That's one thing we've noticed about the Rays, by the way. Every player on their team runs hard. They fly. Voit right back to the mound. Yarbrough makes the play, and that will retire the side. So a 9-pitch inning for Yarbrough. What the prettiest double play, but it works. 2 outs, 1 swing of the bat. The pitcher's best friend. Game 4 of this best-of-5 series. The Rays winning games 2 and 3. They lead the series 2-1. It's the Yankees 2-1 here in game 4 as we head to the Tampa Bay half of the 4th inning. Top of the 4th. Jordan Montgomery back on the mound. All intents and purposes able to wiggle through a mess in that 3rd inning, surrendering just the 1 run, gave up a leadoff walk, then a double, had 2 walks in the inning. Only the 1 run as Ji-Man Choi turns one around, a base hit through the hole. Clean single to right for Ji-Man Choi. The Rays have their leadoff batter aboard once again. A moment ago, Lauren caught up with the Yankee skipper Aaron Boone.
How do you continue to adjust to Yarbrough and keep up the good at-bats?
Well, he's a guy with a really good cutter and changeup, and used to this role and been a good pitcher for them for the last few years. So just got to, control the zone against them and hopefully take advantage of some mistakes.
How's Montgomery look to you? Higgy bailed him out a few times.
Yeah, Higgy's been great back there. That's, you know, especially when he gets ahead, he'll start bouncing pitches and get a lot of chases that way, but wiggled out of some trouble there pretty well.
Thanks, Aaron.
Yep.
You know, I think that pause by Aaron Boone spoke 1,000 words. He's not really sure what to make out of Montgomery so far. We said that he hasn't pitched since September 24th. Still trying to get his feet wet in this game.
Worst start of the year against the Tampa Bay Rays. He got off to a great start. Faced the minimum through the first 2 innings. Margot, little flare, ate him alive, and LeMahieu will put it away for out number 1.
Now that was a good cutting fastball by Montgomery. He hasn't thrown a lot of fastballs. If he's going to have one of those 5 or 6 inning efforts, he's going to have to use his fastball a little more.
Here's Joey Wendell now. Wendell has been a very hot hitter in this postseason. Has hits in 11 of his last 13 games. And he's up there hacking early in the count. Comes up empty. Montgomery struck him out last time up. That ended the 2nd inning. Montgomery with 3 Ks through the first 3 1/3. Each club with 3 hits thus far. Yankees scored twice in the 2nd. Rays got their run last inning. There's another block by Higashioka. That's what Lauren was referencing. Joey Wendell making great contact on the barrel. Highest contact rate and pitches in the zone. Wendell is right there with DJ LeMahieu. David Fletcher led baseball this year. Not a big power guy, but boy, he destroys pitches in the zone. That's a bouncing ball foul. Numbers presented by DraftKings there. We get into some of the analytics, and there's a lot of these players, and Wendell's one of those players, Ron. They're not that big high launch angle guy with the Rays, but they get on base, line drive hitters, versatile pieces, can play anywhere defensively. It's a good makeup.
He's great for their clubhouse and culture because he plays hard every pitch.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner at first, 1 away.
For an example, Wendell was on first base last night in the 7th. 2 outs and a simple pop up to the shortstop. He made it all the way to third base with hustle. That's the kind of player he is with the Rays with a big lead.
Yeah, I think it was 8-2 at the time. He's flying around the bags. Has good speed as well. Choi, the runner at first. Here comes Montgomery. And a called strike 3. Perfectly spotted. Jordan Montgomery picks up a backwards K. His 4th strikeout of the game. 2 outs in the 4th.
It was a good pitch, but watch Higashioka sitting inside. That ball was on the outside corner, so his entire body moved. And a lot of times you don't get that call from the umpire, but he did there. I mean, well within the strike zone, but when the catcher moves a lot, sometimes the umpire won't call it.
You know what was interesting about that is Adames takes a ball. A lot of catchers will reach across to catch that ball. He moved his whole body, so he's still catching it in the middle of his frame and presents a very good catch on a pitch for the umpire to see. Umpires, they hate when you talk about framing and body movement. They say we call strikes strikes, but we all know that's not the case. Catchers have a lot of influence on how pitches look as they finish through the plate. Adames walked and scored in the 3rd inning. And now 3 balls and no strikes on the Tampa Bay shortstop. Ji-Man Choi had a leadoff single. He's still at first. And the 3-0. Adames taking all the way. It's ball 4. First and second now with 2 outs. And this is where the damage has come for the Rays, the bottom of their order. Ron gave you the numbers, but guys like Kiermaier, Zunino, Perez last night, they've got production from their 8 and 9 hitters so far in the postseason. Kiermaier had a double his last time up on a 2-strike pitch. It was an 0-2 count. Doubled off a fastball to the opposite field. Quick visit to the mound there from Higashioka. Chad Green back up and throwing. And all these pitches count too, Ronnie. I mean, Mike Harkey's down there watching this. He's been used a lot. This is the second time he's gotten up.
He's already thrown those, so he should be pretty warm. So he's not going to overthrow until he knows he's coming in, and then about 10 quick tosses, he'll be ready.
2-1 Yankees, 2 outs, top of the 4th inning. 2 on for the Rays. Kiermaier on the first pitch, bouncer right to Voit. He'll take it to the bag himself, and Montgomery able to get through it. He strands a pair, gives up a hit and a walk, but nothing on the board in the 4th. Yankees still lead 2-1. They're coming up. Moments in and around gaming. Catch E-League Super Punch tomorrow at midnight on TBS. Cardboard cutouts, just some really funny ones out there. They've done a great job here at Petco Park. Those lived for the San Diego Padres season and wild card series against St. Louis, and they remain for this division series. Yarbrough back on the mound. Face Brett Gardner to start this inning. Gardner, Torres, Urshela coming up for New York. Down at the bottom of their order. 6, 7, and 8 in the Yankee batting order as Gardner elevates one spot.
Hi. Gardner's one of those players, right? Does something every game when he's in the starting lineup to help your team win. Already with a walk and a run scored.
Clint Frazier started the first 2 games of this series. Gardner hit 8 last night and was 1 out of 4. Had a hit and an RBI last night. 1-2 the count. There's Frazier. Keeping him up. Hit a big home run in game 1. First at bat, first pitch he saw of this division series. He tomahawked a Blake Snell fastball about shoulder high and hit a mammoth home run to left field. There's a 1-2 and Gardner lays off. Gleyber Torres due next. This was the part of the order that helped start a new rally after the Voit home run. Gardner to the opposite field, a base hit. A 2-strike pitch. Gardner just dumps it into left. And a single to start this 4th inning for New York. A moment ago, Lauren caught up with Rays skipper Kevin Cash.
Kevin, how long can Yarbrough give you?
Oh, he can give us plenty. He's built up good to go. He threw 3 innings, but was more of a cleanup session, so I think he's fine for close to 100 pitches if we need it.
Any arms not in play tonight?
No. Well, maybe Charlie Morton. Other than that, yeah, everybody's ready to go.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
That means Glasnow and Snell to me, right?
Charlie Morton started last night, by the way. But Glasnow was excellent in game 2. Snell started game 1.
Yankees in this series, Brian, 31 plate appearances. They've reached 17 times and scored 9 times.
And now they've got Gleyber Torres up with Gardner at first base. Shift is on for Torres, and he shows bunt.
I think was he trying to bunt into the shift? The shift left that entire second base open. I think he was trying to push it that way.
Now, that didn't have the look of a sacrifice bunt. That was a push bunt with a lot of space on the right side. Yeah, that was the target between the pitcher and first base. The Yankees have 1 sacrifice bunt this season, by the way, the whole season. One and one. Just because Kevin Cash says Yarbrough is stretched out, could get 100 pitches out of him, it would be unlikely unless he just dominated the Yankee lineup. His goal, and you can start thinking along with both managers right now. You start chipping away at these innings and outs. These managers are counting outs to get to their bullpen, and both of the A bullpens are going to be in play tonight. Certainly for the Yankees, facing elimination tonight. But if this game's close, I could see Kevin Cash going with his A bullpen as well.
I could see Britton and Chapman getting 9 outs at the end of this ball game if the Yankees are ahead.
You start working backwards from Chapman to Britton, the closer and the setup man. 1-2 the count. Count even to 2-2 now on Gleyber Torres.
Green with these early warm-ups maybe takes him out of play to be one of the setup or bridge to Chapman.
The hypervolt. Got to help each other out, man.
Hypervolt.
3-2. Voit hit that home run in the second inning to start the inning, and then Gardner walked, Torres walked, Urshela walked. 3 in a row from Ryan Thompson. Yankees did get a sacrifice fly for an extra run in that inning, but that could have been a big inning. Same goes for the Rays in the third. They got just 1 out of that. Full count. Gardner goes, and a swing and a foul. That one bit him a little bit right off the foot or the shin. He's having a hard time walking that one off. Ooh. Like right on the instep of the foot. Oh no, I got him on the calf. I see. That'll leave a mark. He'll get the full rainbow of colors with that bruise. That'll go from black to brown to purple to green to yellow.
He'll have that till February.
He needs a little extra time here. Aaron Boone out to check on him.
He's having trouble putting weight on it right now.
You know, if it's in the calf area, the pain goes away. It's going to be sore. If it's more toward the shin on the bone, yeah. I mean, that's when it can be a problem.
Yep. Down and in cutter out front.
Oh man, looked like it got more meat than bone, but that still smarts.
Kevin Cash in yesterday's game sent his runner Wendell in the big inning for Tanaka. That went wrong, and Aaron Boone doing the same with Gardner at first.
Beware of the weary. 3-2 the count. Gardner took off last time, and he takes off again, and that one's in the air to center field. Kiermaier on his way back. He'll run it down in front of the track, and Gardner will retreat. Torres flies out. Yarborough poured in a strike and got his first out of the 4th inning. So now Yarborough will face Gio Urshela. Torres still limping his way in. Not going to feel any better, you know that. Urshela hitting out of the 8th spot in the order tonight. A big bat in that 8th spot. And for the 3rd time, Chad Green is up and throwing.
Got to feel like he's coming in.
Looking ahead to the Rays' 5th inning. You got Zunino, Diaz, and Lau. You got a couple of right-handers, and then the left-handed hitting Brandon Lau. If you want to think along with Aaron Boone. No balls and a strike. Rays set up to turn a double play if they can get one on the ground. And a check on Gardner. Urshela had maybe the biggest hit in this postseason for the Yankees. Had a grand slam in game 2 of the wild card game. Had a couple of hits in that game 2. They were down 4-0 in that game. Urshela's grand slam gave them a lead at 5-4. Yankees had a big comeback. He also started a key double play in the 8th inning of that game that helped him sweep the Indians and arrive here to the division series. On the ground, got a chance to turn it, got to go quick. Nope, they'll go to first instead, the sure one. Gardner got a great jump on first base. Well, that's where the speed really pays off. And Adames choosing to go to first base instead. Second out of the inning, but the Yankees with a runner in scoring position now.
You know, it's the speed, it's the good secondary lead, and the choice by Adames. I thought he still had a play at second, but he felt maybe the throw was going to be a little awkward there, so decided to take the easy out.
Very conservative choice right there by Adames. You could see him kind of wincing after that to his Keystone combo mate Brandon Lau. Potentially an inning-ending double play opportunity. Instead, Higashioka will bat with 2 away. Higashioka was up there with the bases loaded. Last time up, he struck out.
That was Ryan Thompson with those sliders moving away. Ball should be moving in here.
A 7th round draft pick by the Yankees. Higashioka, Southern California native. He's been getting the Garrett Cole starts as his battery mate, but he's swung the bat well in those starts and has earned more playing time. And as a matter of fact, he started the last 2 games now. And if Cole does get the ball tomorrow, if the Yankees survive, you can bet he'll be back there again. Aaron Boone said there'd be no reason to change that battery at this point, the way Cole has been pitching. Cole got the win in game 1. Two outs. 2-1 Yankees. Gardner the runner at second with speed in the air, right field. Lazy little fly ball to Margot, and that will retire the side. Yarbrough pitching well for the Rays. We go to the 5th in game 4.
Season on TBS is brought to you by Utz Snacks, irresistible homestyle flavors, and by HBO Max. Stream all new originals, movies, and more.
Getting into the middle innings here of game 4 of this best-of-5 series. The Rays lead 2-1 after winning games 2 and 3. And it's the end of the line for Jordan Montgomery. It's going to be Chad Green on to pitch. He'll have the 5th inning. 9-1-2 coming up for the Rays. And Zunino first ball swinging. Trying to pounce on that first offering.
Green threw 20 pitches in game 1, 19 pitches yesterday.
Montgomery 62 pitches in his 4 innings. Was teetering a bit in the 3rd. Able to get through it with only the 1 run. That was a knee buckler right there, and it's 0-2 on Zunino. In that game 1 outing, Zunino was the scheduled hitter to start an inning in the 7th. They pinch hit for him. So his first look at him here in this postseason.
Zunino's only had 1 at bat against Green, 0 for 1. Diaz 0 for 6, and Lau 1 for 4.
1 ball 2 strikes. Green deals it, and Zunino fouls it away. 97 with the fastball. Good job by Jordan Montgomery. I mean, I think if you're Aaron Boone, you get 4 innings out of him. He worked through some tricky innings there, a couple of innings, the last 2, but nice job in 4 innings pitched.
I think going into the game, you didn't want him to face the hitters the 3rd time around, and that's why Green's in.
Zunino into center field. Hicks ranging over, and he'll put it away for out number 1.
lost his control at times, especially with his changeup. But his breaking ball was good. He really pitched well to Wendell twice, striking him out twice, and Wendell's red hot. And got 12 outs coming into this game, like you said, Brian. Good job by Montgomery.
Breezed through the first 2 innings. Labored in his last 2 innings. But hands the ball over to Green with a lead 2-1. And a must-win game for the Yankees to survive to a Game 5 with Garrett Cole lurking. They have not officially announced that Cole would be the starter. We don't know that he would be, but I can't imagine that he wouldn't want to be if it does go to a Game 5, Garrett Cole, and I'm sure Aaron Boone would like to oblige.
Garrett Cole has never pitched on 3 days rest in his career.
Which is what he would do if this one goes to a Game 5, because there are no off days this year, and there will be no off days in the ALCS either. 7 consecutive days potentially. Yandy Diaz takes a ball. 1-2 now. Diaz with a hit and a walk. Two and two now. Diaz was part of that injured trio for the Tampa Bay Rays as they tried to get their bats back healthy and able to see enough live pitching before the postseason began. Meadows and Choi and Diaz. There's a called strike 3 right on the edge. Chad Green burns one off for a strikeout. 2 up, 2 down for Green.
Yandy Diaz is shaking his head, but you don't get more of a perfect pitch than that right there from Green. Right on the outside corner, splits the body of Higashioka and gets the call from Titchener.
2 gone for a strikeout for Green. And here's Brandon Lau. Lau did drive in a run with that fielder's choice in the 3rd inning. Two RBIs in the postseason here, but still looking for that first hit of this series. Another one right down the chute.
It's a classic case of a good hitter who's in between.
He is a mess right now.
He's late on the fastball. He's ahead of the breaking ball, out on his front foot.
An all-star last year. Led the Rays in homers this year. And down he goes. Boy, that was one impressive inning by Chad Green. Was up and down a couple of times in the pen. Comes on and blows right through the order in the 5th. Network 9:08 Eastern. That game from Arlington, Texas. Dodgers, Padres. The Dodgers a chance to advance to the NLCS, and they've got Dustin May on the mound, who pitched 2 perfect innings in winning Game 1 in relief. Adrian Morejon on the mound for San Diego. Padres try to stay alive. We're in the home of the Padres here, Petco Park. American League Division Series. One of the 4 MLB bubbles this postseason. DJ LeMahieu starts it. Ryan Yarbrough back to work. Second pitcher of the day for Tampa Bay. Good ball game going. 2-1 Yankees. Luke Voit with a homer in the 2nd to start it. They added one more with a sac fly from LeMahieu. Rays got their run of the 3rd. Both managers in their bullpens now. Excellent inning by Chad Green. 1, 2, 3 with a couple of strikeouts.
Hi.
Yankees at the top of their order. 2-1 to LeMahieu. Late on it. Let's check in with Lauren Shahadi. She's got more on the batting champion in Major League Baseball, DJ LeMahieu.
Yeah, Brian Boone told me DJ touches so much of the strike zone with his bat that when he swings, it's as if he's swinging a paddle. Gary Sanchez said, I call him the machine. They move the shift one way, he hits it the other way. They shift back, he hits it where they're not, so you can't teach what he has.
Greatest sign of respect for a hitter is they play him straight up. Got him out ahead of that one, did Yarbrough, and LeMahieu rolls out number 1 of this 5th inning.
You know, with so much velocity, Brian, in the game, it's fascinating and great to watch Yarbrough and how he gets hitters out. He has that changeup that he'll start on the plate that never ends up a strike. The cutter that starts inside to the right-handers that ends up eating or breaking their bat. It's just nice to see it. And I would think in today's game, with all the velocity, it's a golden age to have someone who has less.
Disruption of timing any way that goes as Yarbrough misses to Judge. Aaron Judge was up in a key spot in the 2nd inning. Yankees had 2 runs in. He was batting with 2 on. That was Yarbrough's first batter face, got him to ground out to 3rd base.
Been behind both hitters now, 2-0.
This Rays bullpen had the 3rd best earned run average in the majors, 3.37 bullpen ERA. It is the strength of their team. They led Major League Baseball as far as bullpen with inherited runners scoring. They were the best in that category, stranding the most. And that's what Yarbrough did when he entered the game against Judge with 2 on in the 2nd inning. (3-0). See if Judge has a green light here. And he takes ball 4. Judge is aboard. So a base runner for New York with 1 away in the 5th inning. Kevin Cash saying Yarbrough, you could stretch him out to 100 pitches if you wanted. Right now he's at 38. Worked a scoreless 3rd and 4th inning. Did give up hits in each of those innings. Nothing around the middle of the plate. It's all been around the edges. He's had some really wild pitches too, some wayward pitches. But nothing he throws is straight. Here's Hicks. And he sends one high in the air. Foul territory. And Wendell will put it away for the out. Got him on the first pitch. That's out number 2 for Yarbrough. Well, Giancarlo Stanton with a brand new bat. The bat he was using was on an historic run, but Yarbrough just blew that one up last time up. Turned into a 6-4-3 double play.
Served him well, though, Brian.
The bat died happy, as they say. Not on that particular ground ball, but man, did it do some damage. 6 homers in this postseason already. Man, you hate to lose a bat like that. Something about this ballpark as well. Stanton, who's from Sherman Oaks, outside LA, Southern California native. He loves hitting here at Petco. Had big numbers at Petco Park in his days as a Marlin. Won the home run derby, which was held here at Petco 2016. Part of the All-Star festivities. Stanton was not an All-Star that year, but he was a participant in the home run derby, so close to his hometown. 1 ball, 1 strike. In there, strike 2. Stanton's got 22 career games at Petco. He's at 12 homers, 25 RBIs in 22 games. Regular season numbers, he's at 8. And a wave and a miss. He struck him out. Ryan Yarbrough pitching well out of the bullpen. They used the opener. Yarbrough handling the bulk right now. We go to the 6th, 2-1 Yankees. Google Cloud, we're looking at result pitches to Arozarena.
Boy, middle of the plate, one off the plate. That was a breaking ball in game 1, but most of the pitches up in the strike zone, the opposite of tonight. You see that they've been working him lower in the strike zone. He's made a couple of outs.
Green with that breaking ball caught the edge for strike one. Arozarena is 0 for 2. The strikeout came in the first inning, and then he grounded out in the third. That was with some traffic on base for Tampa Bay. They had 2 on in that inning. So Green back out there for his second inning, but he pitches with Zach Britton getting loose. Arozarena to be followed by Choi, the left-handed bat. Meanwhile, for the Tampa Bay Rays, Pete Fairbanks on the weighted ball. They didn't change to a red baseball. That wouldn't be fair. 2 balls and a strike. 2-2 now, right on the corner. Boy, Green, he's hit twice on that same pitch on the outside corner. Green just blew through the Rays in the 5th. Look at that big bender. Pow.
All of his pitches have been living on the corner so far.
2-2. And a fastball that time, and Arozarena pops it up. Foul territory. Voit, LeMahieu, and LeMahieu runs into the sidewall. That's out of play. There is a little short wall down there, and it, especially when you don't play here, the Padres players know it well, but it can do some damage. I mean, it'll clip you.
LeMahieu should know it well too from his time with the Rockies, but when you're a taller athlete, it hits you a little lower, like around the knee. And you can see he ran both knees right into that, did LeMahieu. Trying to make a great play.
Just out of his reach. Buys another pitch for Arozarena. Yeah, he got away with one. Thought he was done. 2-2. And that breaking ball missed that time. Just trying to get him to chase, and he didn't. Choi due next, the lefty. Rays are set up. They just basically go right, left, all the way down their batting order. Arozarena on the ground. Scooped up Torres. Out number 1 for Green. He's retired all 4 batters faced. He looks sharp right now.
Big out, and be able to throw that 3-2 breaking ball to Arozarena. 3 balls in the bottom of the strike zone now produced 3 outs for Arozarena.
Every out at this point is so valuable. These managers start to create the path to the finish line in this game, in a 2-1 game. 2-run second inning for the Yankees. Rays got their run in the 3rd. Ji-Man Choi with the shift on. Choi loves to swing at that first pitch if it's in his wheelhouse. And that one missing badly. Breaking ball again.
Remember, I said in game 1, Green threw 20 pitches, game 3, 19 pitches, and wanting more from him in game 4.
Fastball. Choi got jammed a little bit, and fly ball to center field for out number 2. That's when you know a pitcher is on his game, isn't it, Ronnie? I mean, you're in a hitter's count. He's looking fastball. Couldn't get the bat head on it.
Yeah, they've pitched him in all night. They missed once. That was his base hit to right field, but he got it in just enough.
2 up, 2 down for Green. That brings up Manuel Margot, the former Padre. 0 for 2. Had a ground out, then a pop up. In there, 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Margot hit a couple of home runs in the wild card series against Toronto. And that one's into center field. Got Goodwood on that one. Hicks on his way back at the track. He'll make the play. Aaron Hicks ran right to the spot. Maybe the ball not traveling as well as we've seen so far this series. 3 up, 3 down for Green. 2 strong innings from the Yankee reliever. Time now for the Geico game summary. Boy, we got a good ball game going here tonight. Excellent pitching thus far, Ronnie.
Yeah, Luke Voit broke out of his mini slump. Ryan Thompson, some wildness. He gave up a couple of runs. Yarborough's been great since then, and 12 big outs from Jordan Montgomery and 2 great innings from Chad Green.
Green 6 up, 6 down with 2 Ks. Yarbrough has gone 3 1/3, and he'll face Voit. First ball swinging in the air, center field. Deep. Kiermaier at the track will make the catch. And now it is confirmed that the ball is not traveling
well.
We
have 2 things working here. That marine layer, Brian, that you brought up before, but also it's about 10 degrees cooler tonight than it has been in San Diego. So those high fly balls that Voit has seen in the first 3 games of this series go out of the park are staying in.
Well, Hicks, this was the shot by Margot, and he hit a ball similar to this that went out, and Hicks said, all right, no problem. And then Chad Green got back to the dugout. Wipe of the brow.
Got away with that one.
This is the Petco that everybody talked about. Yeah. Used to be one of the toughest places to hit a home run. That all changed about 2013. Moved the fences in, all the development around. And of course, the launch angle revolution. Every park's a home run park these days as Gardner takes a strike. We can't say enough about Chad Green's 6 outs in this one. 2 scoreless innings. Montgomery went the first 4. That really sets up Aaron Boone and his bullpen with the lead. Got to figure, and you called it early. I mean, Britton and Chapman, they're the package for the 9 outs to get to the finish line.
And if one of them falters, let's say Britton falters, then Ottavino might have to come in and get some outs.
It was a well-rested pen. We haven't even seen Aroldis Chapman pitch in this series. He's been up a couple of times, but has not entered a game yet. Has only pitched once in the postseason. Went 2 innings in that wild Game 2 against Cleveland. Got the win that night to help the Yankees advance here. 0-2 the count on Gardner. And Yarbrough slings one sidearm that time. It's 1-2.
You know, you hear the cliche all the time, all hands on deck. Aaron Boone thought he'd only really have Chad Green to get out of an inning early in the game. Instead, he gives him 2 innings. That's all hands on deck.
And he got up twice.
Yeah.
Got up, sat down, got up again, sat down, and then finally went back on the bullpen mound to enter the game. That's a big effort. Yarbrough deals. Another slinger in there. Misses. 2-2 the count. That is Gleyber Torres due next. Yarbrough has been efficient. Had just a 14-pitch 5th inning. Worked around a walk. 48 pitches thus far. In 3 2/3 innings. And Gardner laces one into left field, a base hit. Same result. He's on base 3 times. He's got back-to-back hits off Yarbrough.
Gardner's had the best at bats against Yarbrough. 2 base hits to left field. This one on the cutter away. Just serves it to left. Nice hitting by Gardner.
Cutter pitchers, left-handers, are better against right-handed hitters typically, and it has shown up tonight. So Gardner with 2 hits and a walk. He's at first with 1 away for Gleyber Torres. And Torres turns on one down the left field line. That is hooking. That is up, and it is gone. A booming home run from Gleyber Torres in the Western Metal Supply Company. Two-run jack. Gleyber Torres makes it 4-1 Yankees.
Remember that last at-bat, Yarbrough kept feeding those cutters in, fouled one off his calf. It's almost like he was looking for a ball in. So quick was Torres.
I'm not even sure that was a strike. The impressive part of that was the fact that Torres kept it fair. It had a little hook on it, but not much. Just rifled that bat through the strike zone. Two-run home run. Yankees lead 4-1 now. First ball swinging, Urshela. Adames, low throw, dug out by Choi. 2 outs. Let's take a look at the home run swing of Gleyber Torres.
That's the cutter coming in. He was looking for it, caught more of the middle of the plate, but still looking in on that first pitch, kept it fair, and a monster home run.
Well, that is a beautiful stroke right there. And this is what's so impressive, just very little hook on it.
He pulled those hands in, Brian, and just threw the knob of the bat at the ball.
Did we say the ball's not carrying? When you hit them like that, they carry anywhere. Only the big boys go up there in the 4th story of that old building that is the centerpiece of this ballpark. They built the whole stadium around it, that Western Metal Supply Company building. 2 outs in the inning. Higashioka takes a ball. It's only been a couple of players ever go on the roof up there. Torres almost went up there. He went about halfway up of that 4th story. Big moment for Torres and the Yankees here in the 6th inning. On the corner, 2-1 the count.
And more importantly, a little breathing room for the Yankees in that bullpen.
Little flare, center field, and he's going to fall for a base hit. Kiermaier got it on a bounce. Higashioka with a single. 2-out hit for the Yankee catcher. Now to flip the lineup over to DJ LeMahieu.
Change up away. Good pitch by Yarbrough. Just off the end of the bat. Kiermaier, who plays pretty deep center field. Long way to go. Can't make the play.
Kevin Cash, his club down a run when this inning started. Gleyber Torres has put him down 3. And Yarbrough misses outside. Aaron Slegers now up and throwing for Tampa Bay.
Hasn't thrown in this series yet.
LeMahieu on the ground. Adames flips it over to the bag with Lau, and that will retire the side. But Gleyber Torres launches one out of here. 410-foot home run with some serious launch and very little hook up on the 4th level. And it's 4-1 Yankees. Buzz here. There's Canty, football player from the Bronx. And Gleyber Torres, a 2-run home run. Had a couple of singles in this series prior to that big blast. So Britton was fully ready to enter this game, and he will enter this game with a 4-1 lead as Britton comes on here for the 7th. Mike Brasso will pinch hit for Tampa Bay.
Nice numbers, Zach Britton, during the season. 20 games. His last 10 games he's unscored on in 9 of them.
First ball swinging. Brasso fouls it away. Brasso was the man right in the middle of all the activity earlier in the season. September 1st. These two teams don't like each other at all, the Rays and the Yankees. A bitter rivalry has built throughout the years and kind of came to a climax this season when Aroldis Chapman threw over the head of Brasso with a 101-mile-an-hour fastball. Brasso hit 2 home runs the next day, September 2nd. Benches cleared on that September 1st day. Really haven't seen anything to that degree in this postseason series. Chapman still awaiting his first appearance in this division series. Aroldis Chapman, we saw him getting loose. I can't imagine a scenario, Lauren, where he doesn't pitch tonight. They just like to, if for nothing else, if it's not a save situation.
Well, he was asked today on Yes Network about coming into the game. He said, I know the situation. I'll be ready. The routine, the preparation don't change. I'll just start getting ready earlier. And when asked specifically how many pitches, he said unlimited with a smile.
He's ready to go. It's what you build up and you work, you prepare for these moments. There's a strikeout. Britton gets Brasso to start the inning.
Breaking pitch from Britton. Unlimited. Saw Chapman throw unlimited in 2016 in the World Series.
Led the Cubs to that World Series title, and they rode him hard that year, as will Aaron Boone. Britton picks up a K. This Yankees bullpen has got him on lockdown right now. 7 straight retired. Chad Green retired 6 in a row. Now Britton starts with a K, and here is Adames. This is where we have seen most managers in this division series not chase the wins when they're down, not go with their best relievers. Let it be what it'll be. Kevin Cash knows he's got a game to play with. But as you get into this series with no days off, it becomes a battle of attrition. And I think both managers feel good about what is available. And both certainly have a plan for tomorrow. And for Aaron Boone, he might have the best plan of all to start a game in Garrett Cole, who would be ready to go.
But you have to get this one first.
That's right. Still plenty of time.
That's why Britton's in. That's why Green gave you 2 innings. That's why Chapman will pitch at some point.
Blake Snell, game 1 starter. Snell down in the bullpen. Glasnow said he would be available. He's already told his manager he feels great. Could see an opportunity tomorrow if the Rays don't come back to win this game. You could see all those horses, Snell and Glasnow and the excellent bullpen. 2-2 pitch. Adames hanging tough. Aroldis Chapman and Davy Garcia, the opener for the Yankees in game 2 that generated a lot of headlines. The 21-year-old, the youngest to make a start in a postseason game in Yankee history. He could factor in as well at some point. Adames, a slow roller out to second base, and LeMahieu, bang bang play. He got him. 2 up, 2 down. 8 in a row retired by the Yankee bullpen. Don't forget our baseball menu for Friday. We'll have game 5 if necessary. Coverage starts at 5 p.m. Eastern. Game time at 6 p.m. Eastern. Dodgers Padres if necessary. Game 4. That'll be on FS1.
So happy we have these. That's the only time I know when the games are, Brian. Thank you.
If the Yankees and Rays game, by the way, if our game is the only game tomorrow, the game will be on TBS at 7 p.m. Right. Put that in your calendar.
I got it, buddy.
Just in case. If the Padres don't win tonight. Houston Astros advance to the ALCS. They might be down here camping out. Here's Renfroe, first at bat for him in the series. I feel like Renfroe's kind of been in waiting for a matchup with Aroldis Chapman, but he's going to get one here against Zach Britton.
You might get an at bat against both at some point.
Bench hitting for Kiermaier. Could stay in the game defensively. Last trip to the plate for Hunter Renfroe. He delivered a grand slam for the Rays against the Toronto Blue Jays in the wild card series. Oh, no doubter. How big was this? Hyunjin Ryu, and see you later. Whistled one inside the foul pole. Big grand slam. And it was a runaway train for the Rays to sweep the Blue Jays. Renfroe on the ground. Former Padre rolls out. And that's going to retire the side. Britton goes through the side in order. 4-1 Yankees. They're coming up in the 7th. Four to 1 Yankees lead the Tampa Bay Rays. Game 4 trying to force a game 5. Brian Anderson with Ron Darling. And think about the way this game's gone. It's been excellent pitching by the Yankees today, but a couple of big home runs. Luke Voit launched one out of here. That Gleyber Torres home run was massive.
I mean, to keep that fair was amazing. 3 home runs last year, 2 home runs this year for Torres. He is proving to be a big money player for these Yankees.
He has 5 career home runs now in the postseason. This was his second of this postseason. Had one in the wild card game. 2-run home run against the Indians. He has proven himself to be a big game player as Judge on the first pitch pops it up. Yarbrough still out there. Got some changes here for the Rays to catch you up on as Judge pops up for out number 1. Margot will move over to center field. Hunter Renfroe, who pinch hit, will stay in the game in right field, and Brosseau, who pinch hit, remains in the game at third base. Rays certainly aren't out of it, but the Yankees have a 4-1 lead and their horses lined up. Britton a 1-2-3 7th inning, and Yarbrough is going to give him as many innings as he possibly can. He's done a good job tonight, minus that 2-run home run to Torres. Rays began this game with the opener. Ryan Thompson with an inning and 2/3, giving up 2 runs. Yarbrough 4 2/3 innings thus far. One ball, 1 strike on Hicks. Hicks reached on an infield hit in the 3rd inning. He's 1 out of 3 tonight. Takes strike 2. Hicks, a guy gets on base a lot, gets deep into counts. .379 on base percentage this year. High on base percentage, righty and lefty. Switch hitters, sometimes it's one side or the other. But from both sides of the plate, very disciplined at the plate. Punches one over to first base. Ji-Man Choi will take it to the bag. And there is out number 2 for Yarbrough in the 7th inning. Well, aside from being down 3 runs, how big is it that Yarbrough continues to get outs? I mean, potentially, I don't know if they'll let him finish the game. They said they'd let him roll up to 100 pitches, but, you know, he's holding them down for now in this particular inning. And if you can get closer to the finish line, you're in better shape tomorrow.
Yes, exactly. If Tampa Bay loses the game, then they got a fresh bullpen for tomorrow. Just take away the at-bats by Gardner and the home run by Torres. He's thrown the ball awfully well.
Stanton writing some history right now. Only Daniel Murphy of the Mets in 2015 Only player in Major League Baseball postseason history with home runs in 6 consecutive games. Stanton has done it in 5 straight games. He is 0 for 3 tonight. A couple of strikeouts bookending a double play ball. That's what he's chasing right there. Currently tied with Springer and Beltran of the Astros for home runs in consecutive games in the playoffs. In the air to left field. On the run, Rosarena can't get there. And that's going to one hop up and out. No, the ball's in play. And so that'll be a double for Stanton. Well, it's not a home run, but Giancarlo Stanton stays hot. He's got an extra base hit with 2 outs in the 7th.
Again, another cutter inside. Just got in enough. This to Giancarlo Stanton is a jam shot. One hop off the left field wall.
And that's going to be the end for Yarbrough. So the second Rays pitcher works into the 7th, giving up 2 runs. And he'll exit with 2 outs and a runner at second base. Voit coming up. And the 6'10" right-hander Aaron Seggers is on his way in. Utz snacks a little Utz girl. Yeah, she's got a glove on. A perfect strike from Luke Voit. Every inning, at the end of the inning, he throws one up there. I think he's only made contact twice, thank goodness. So it is big Aaron Seggers here. And he'll get the ball with Voit coming up and a runner at second base.
Well, he had been with a couple of teams, including the Pittsburgh Pirates, and he was waived and then came to the Tampa Bay Rays in a trade for cash considerations. They then designated him for assignment, back and forth, but now here in the postseason.
Another one of the reclamation projects for these Tampa Bay Rays. First appearance of the series for Seggers. And a little half swing grounder foul. Luke Voit finally connected for a long ball in this postseason. Hit one out of here in the second inning. Put the Yankees on the board first. Hit a sweeping breaking ball from Ryan Thompson, the Rays opener tonight. Good way to start for the Yankees. Second inning and did not miss. And the home run champ in Major League Baseball launching his first postseason home run of his career. That one's hit hard, but right at Adames, and that'll retire the side. 7 in the books in Game 4. Yankees lead 4-1. The Rays are coming to bat. We go to the 8th. Some of the sights from our T-Mobile base cam. A couple of cameras in each of those bases. Some incredible images in this division series.
Saw some good sliding techniques.
Instructional videos.
Yes.
Zach Britton remains in the game. Zunino trying to pounce on the first pitch. He fouls it away. Yankees have made some changes defensively as well with the lead late. Their typical move with Tyler Wade at second, which moves LeMahieu over to first base. Wade, an excellent defender. Saw him in Game 1 in the Garrett Cole victory. And it's quickly 0-2 on Zunino. Aroldis Chapman talked about splitting the 9 outs, and that might be the plan here for Aaron Boone. But Britton is dealing right now. He's making it look easy. So I really hadn't had much high stress here. Chad Green retired 6 in a row with 2 strikeouts, and then Britton just ripped right through the order in the 7th. 3 up, 3 down with a K and 2 groundouts. And he goes. Zunino strikes out. Out number 1, second K for Britton. Hey, you can call the shots during postseason games and compete for cash prizes with MLB Rally, a new free-to-play game where you make at-bat predictions in real time. Download MLB Rally app now. Restrictions apply. See official rules at MLB.com/rally.
Brian, you and I have seen a lot of baseball. The two best sinkers I've seen from left-handed pitchers, Zach Britton and Johnny Venters, the reliever for the Braves for those many seasons.
Most left-handers don't feature a sinker.
Right.
I mean, a lot of lefties typically it's either a straight ball or they have a little bit of a run across the plate into a right-handed hitter. But he's one of the few that gets that good spin. He's been a good one for a long time. Yeah. One of the top closers in the game. His days with the Orioles. Now he sets up a roll to Chapman, and it is quite the 1-2 punch from the left side. Diaz rolls it foul. I mean, the formula is pretty clear for the Yankees. They came into this series, if you had to just kind of encapsulate what the plan was, what the goal was, win the Garrett Cole games, and then try to steal one in between. Now, Garrett Cole, if the Yankees hang on to win this game, he'll be up for game 5. And in game 1, they had everything rolling. Garrett Cole pitched well. They went into their A bullpen. They pitched well. And they slugged out 4 home runs and 1 going away.
Seemed to come off the rails when they employed the opener in game 2. But
piece by piece, putting the rails back together for now. Just a wave and a foul tip on Diaz. Doesn't mean this one's over yet. Certainly the comeback potential of the Rays. That seemed out of character game 2 with the opener, but then with Jay Happ as the one who came in second in that outing. Davy Garcia got the start.
And there's no team in baseball that would like a piece of Chapman than the Tampa Bay Rays.
They're going to get their chance at some point. 4-1 Yankees, and Diaz a swing and a miss. Down he goes. Back-to-back Ks for Zach Britton. He's got 3 now, and that's going to be it here for Britton. A pitching change. And our TBS Total Motion presented by Progressive. A tumbler. Disappearing sinker from Zach Britton. And he picks up his 3rd strikeout. So Aaron Boone sharing the wealth here. Britton has had enough. 5 batters faced, 5 consecutive outs with 3 Ks, and now it's going to be a roll to Chapman. He'll try to give the Yankees the last 4 outs in a 4-1 game. Aaron Boone's going to ask him to get the final 4 outs with Brandon Lau coming up 2 outs in the 8th inning.
You know, it's an interesting move because you can say to yourself, Britton is as good as he's ever been. You know, the reason for the move is Lau, who's coming up, cannot handle the ball up in the strike zone. That's what you'll get from Chapman. But he's in a big slump, and Britton pitching as well as you've ever seen him. So that's why the move was made. I don't know if I'd make the same.
Yeah, if you play devil's advocate here, the way Britton is rolling and Lau struggles, maybe you let it ride. We'll see how it works out. Take a look at inside the numbers presented by DraftKings. Highest whiff rate on the 4-seam fastball. 42% this year. He was top 5 in the majors with that fastball that's not 101, 102 miles an hour anymore, but it's plenty fast. 98, 99 miles per hour. And a struggling hitter in Brandon Lau, and I think Aaron Boone wants to make sure he keeps him that way with Aroldis Chapman. And the high fastball missed.
Good take by Lau. Good check swing.
Be curious to hear from Aaron Boone if the Yankees go on to win this game about you know, the thought process, not allowing Britton to finish an inning and then start Chapman. It could be just as much of an even split as you could get. Britton was pretty effortless though in recording his 5 outs.
Well, I understand it because of the high fastball from Chapman, but you know, the wildness here to start. It's not his best start.
Swing and a miss. Chase that high fastball. Lyle's only faced Chapman twice. He's 0 for 2. The Yankees have had his number. 25 consecutive hitless at-bats for Brandon Lowe against Yankee pitching. He's 0 for 3 tonight. He did drive in a run on a fielder's choice in the third. Those massive strikeout numbers from Chapman.
You know, hitters will always check their exit velocities and say, I'm a little unlucky, I'm not finding any grass. But really, in this series, Lowe has only hit one ball hard, the ball that was an out to LeMahieu.
3 balls and a strike. And ball 4. Chapman walks him. So you want to be a big league manager. On paper, the plans look good, the matchups look good, you kind of split the pitches, you get to the finish line, but any disruption of that, you know, if the Rays, you get a man on, another man on, a base hit, now everything changes.
Don't take away that the Rays are locked in against Chapman. Every team wants to beat a closer. No team more than this one.
Public enemy number 1 for Tampa Bay, Arozarena.
Hi.
This is a matchup worth paying attention to right here. Arozarena, one of the quickest bats going. Tough to sneak a fastball by him at any velocity. Arozarena has never faced Aroldis Chapman until now. No balls and a strike. In there. 0-2 the count.
Chapman started throwing a few more sliders this year, even threw a split finger on occasion, but hasn't pitched in a while and has his best fastball.
He's been up and throwing in the bullpen often, but never entered a game yet in this DS. Went 2 innings in the wild card series in game 2. Last time he was on the mound, that was last Wednesday, a week and a day ago. Swing and a miss. 101 from Chapman. Arozarena strikes out. To the bottom of the 8th we go. The Yankees lead it 4-1.
The strikeout of Arozarena, 101 miles an hour. And look at the reaction, not only from Chapman, but also his manager.
That's why I did it.
Exactly.
With a fastball hitter at the plate, got him out on a big fastball. Slegger's back on the mound.
Hi.
Bottom of the 8th inning, Yankees at the bat. They are up 4-1. Key home run in this game was Gleyber Torres' 2-run shot in the 6th, and that stretched a 2-1 lead to 4-1. It was just a high towering fly ball, a 410-foot blast that went up on the 4th level of the Western Metal Supply Company building out there, and changed the complexion of the game a bit. Yep, up there in that region, a bomb. Gardner's had a good night, and down he goes on strikes. 3 pitches. Sleggers strikes him out. A punch out for the big right-hander. First time Gardner's been retired tonight. First strikeout for Sleggers.
Straight over the top, backdoor breaking ball. Perfect pitch from Aaron Sleggers. That's how you draw it up.
In there for strike 2, or strike 1, I beg your pardon, on the second batter faced in this 8th inning. Torres hit his 5th postseason home run last time up. I thought you made a great point, Ronnie, when you think about how one at-bat leads to the next.
Yeah.
Remember, he had fouled a pitch off his calf from Yarbrough. Cut her in, he fouled it all. He was hobbled. I mean, it hurt him. Next pitch he flew out, so he was going to get the bat head out that next time up, and boy, I don't even know if the pitch was a strike. Looked like a little in off the plate, and he turns on it able to keep it fair, had very little hook.
Hitters will even say to themselves before they go to the plate, he is not getting inside on me this time. Not happening.
TBS Total Motion presented by Progressive. That sweet swing of Gleyber Torres. Voit and Torres with home runs tonight. In the air, center field. That's down, a base hit. So Torres on base 3 times now. Hits in his last 2 at bats. It's a 1-out single here in the 8th inning. Torres does have all the makings of a money player. He's hit over 360 in the postseason now with that base hit. He's got 15 RBIs and 15 postseason games to go along with those 5 home runs.
I wouldn't be surprised at some point he's an MVP type player.
Making the move from second base to shortstop this year. As Urshela takes a ball inside. That kind of move can take away from your offense, believe it or not. When you're moving from second base to the shortstop position, there's a lot of stress playing shortstop in the major leagues, especially for the New York Yankees. Urshela had jammed a little bit. Fly ball into center for Margot. Routine for out number 2. He'd been a second baseman coming over from the Cubs, but with Didi Gregorius in play and always wondering who that shortstop would be following Derek Jeter. Gregorius had a terrific run for the Yankees.
Yes, he did.
But now it's Torres' job, and
they got him for loaning out Chapman for the postseason to the Cubs.
Isn't that something?
And then re-signed Chapman. That's having your cake and eating it too.
Pulling the chair.
Yeah.
But the Cubs and their fans would tell you it's worth every penny because that led him to a World Series title. A monumental World Series title for the Chicago Cubs. Two outs. Higashioka takes a ball inside. Chapman poised to return for the 9th. Save situation in progress for Aroldis Chapman. Got the last 2 outs of the 8th inning.
Serious game face working.
I got the final out of the 8th, I should say. He fills up that bench, doesn't he? You kind of forget how long and lanky, how big he is. Aroldis Chapman has been a Cuban making all the noise in this series. Randy Arozarena, but the Cuban Missile was his nickname when he arrived with the Cincinnati Reds.
Might have the final word.
Certainly got the final word in that strikeout of Arozarena back in the 8th. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner takes off. Throw to second, up the line. Tag was late. Stolen base for Gleyber Torres. Puts a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. His 2nd steal of this division series.
Well, good job by Torres taking advantage of any tall right-handed pitcher. Usually is slow to the plate. And Torres gets in scoring position.
That was beautiful.
Camera got some mitten.
T-Mobile base cam. He was trying to avoid the foot of the covering infielder. Higashioka trying to deliver an add-on run for the Yankees here with 2 outs. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. It goes 3-2. Figure Higashioka is going to be in there tomorrow. He may be asking for a day off pretty soon. He's catching so much. He'll have caught 4 out of 5 games If they advance to tomorrow and he ends up back there with Garrett Cole, can't imagine Aaron Boone would break that up. That's been a beautiful combination as Gary Sanchez sits. I give Sanchez a lot of credit, though. He's been a good teammate, been cheering on Higashioka and the rest of his teammates, been right on that top rail. Never know when they need you. There's a base hit into left field, and the stolen base is going to lead to a run as Torres will score. It's an RBI single for Higashioka. A 2-out, 2-strike RBI single. 5-1 Yankees.
Heck of a job by Torres. Better hitting by Higashioka. And the Yankees steal a run and add on a run. High sinker from Sleggers that Higashioka gets on top of. Just gets it past the glove of Brosseau. And of course, with 2 outs and running, Torres had a great secondary lead, made it easy.
2 hits tonight for Higashioka. Hit a home run earlier in this series, had a couple of hits in game 1 and a walk. So it's not just his catching ability that has him in the lineup right now. He's swinging the bat. He's giving him something offensively. LeMahieu at the top of the Yankees order. Chapman probably ready to get back on the mound. No reliever would ever admit that, but we've got enough. Oh, how about LeMahieu? I mean, is that something else or what? Shift is on. LeMahieu just pulls the hands in like he's playing Pepper out there. Serves one into right field for a base hit. I mean, that is just crazy skill right here.
This is what the coaches do with the fungo bats before the game.
Amazing. That's why they call him batsmen right there. He's a batsman. I mean, that is so good.
He had 38 opposite field hits this year, 7 opposite field home runs. That led to the major leagues.
And it gets Aaron Judge to the plate. Is there a number that Aaron Boone has in mind, you think, that he would take Chapman out? I mean, you hit a 3-run home run here. Does that affect things?
Yes, absolutely.
That Yankee bullpen quiet for now. Sleggers misses low, and now starting to stir a little bit. Just in case, Jonathan Holder will toss a few. Remember, the Yankees in their last at bat as the road team in the 9th inning in game 1 put 5 runs on the board. Stretched it out. Secured the win for Garrett Cole. Those insurance runs matter, especially when you don't have any days off. Two balls and a strike. Now 3-1.
Feel like Sleggers, who hasn't pitched in this series yet, kind of getting to the end of the line.
One game leads to the next, and if you're the Yankees, you would love an opportunity to sit down Chapman and have him ready tomorrow. Ground ball, and Brosseau misplayed it. Everybody safe right off the end of his glove. Judge is aboard. The inning is extended here in the 8th inning. Bases are loaded with 2 outs now.
The ball to the left of Brosseau. A play he'd tell you he should make, and they give him an E5. Just off the end of his glove. He had to force at second to play at first. I just couldn't make the play.
And they're loaded up now. Kyle Snyder wants to have a quick visit. Aaron Loop is just now loosening in the bullpen, would need a little time. Perhaps the reason for the extended visit on the mound. Home plate umpire Todd Tishner out there to break it up. He's not having much success though, is he? Now we're ready. Remember when we were counting mound visits? Never really get to the end of those, do we?
Never. Never count them anymore. That's how we never get to them.
That's right. All right, so here is Aaron Hicks. A chance to bust it wide open. Yankees lead 5-1. They are in the sweet spot right now, but you know they are also thinking about tomorrow in a spot like this. Hicks knows that. 2 outs, bases loaded. Sleggers deals. Hicks takes a ball. Sleggers has thrown 28 pitches. Those are the 2 starters at the front of that rotation, Snell and Glasnow. The fact that they're sitting in the bullpen tonight, that tells a story as well. Kevin Cash said they were available if they got in a position where they needed them. But you know they will be available tomorrow, barring a Rays comeback here tonight. Here's a 1-1. Ooh, a nice pick back there by Zunino.
All the catchers in this series blocking has been pretty impeccable.
It really has.
Hard slider down and in, backhanded.
Don't go looking for all those plays in the box score. They don't show up, but they count. They matter. There's always someone keeping track of that. And that one's in the air to right field. Hicks turned and burned on it. Does he have enough? No. Renfroe makes the play just in front of the wall. So it's 5-1. The Yankees add 1. We're headed for the 9th inning. Last call for the Rays. The 2020 American League Division Series presented by Utz Snacks. Last call for the Rays in this game 4. Yankees trying to even this series and force a decisive game 5. With Garrett Cole looming. They have not announced that Cole is starting the game, but one would assume he would be a factor. Aroldis Chapman, even though it's a 4-run lead now, this is still a save situation for him. He entered the game in the 8th inning with the Yankees up 3. And he carries on. Ji-Man Choi will lead off. Choi, Margot, and then Mike Brasso, which ought to make for an interesting matchup. And Chapman misses upstairs, only 95 miles an hour with that fastball. That's the cruising speed fastball for Chapman.
Think about it. The last one he threw was at 101 miles an hour. He averaged 101 miles an hour in 2016.
And that one's in there. 97. The get-over versions. Had that 4-out save against the Twins last year in the postseason. The last time he's had a 4-out save. That was a sweep of the Twins by the Yankees last year to send them to the ALCS. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-2 now. Last time the Rays were in the ALCS, 2008. And they made it to the World Series that year. Lost to the Phillies in 08. Jimmy Rollins can fill you in on the rest of that World Series. But a great run that year, 2008. Joe Maddon's Tampa Bay Rays. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's that slider. I'll tell you that the gap between the slider and the fastball in this inning, it's about 10 miles an hour. But as you mentioned, 101 with a fastball.
That's right.
I mean, that's what makes Chapman. The fact that he throws so hard, but then has that second pitch that is a wipeout pitch.
Well, I think you have to gear yourself so much to that fastball, and he throws very little sliders unless he doesn't have a good fastball that day. So it's always a surprise. Good job by Choi, not swinging at it.
Chapman entered this game with 2 outs in the 8th. He walked the first batter he faced, Brandon Lau, and then struck out Arozarena on a 101-mile-an-hour fastball to win the inning. 2-2 the count. And got in on the hands of Choi. A pop-up, foul territory. Higashioka in the on-deck circle makes the play for out number 1 of this 9th inning.
Well, here's the fastball and slider comparison that you were talking about, Brian. Fastball gets on you at 96, 97, 98 miles an hour, and see how you have to make that adjustment. That slider and the differential in speed, and that doesn't even take into account the break of that slider.
4.3 feet of difference there between fastball and slider. So here's Manuel Margot now. Margot was up there in a 1-run game in the 6th inning with 2 outs and gave one a ride. It was caught just shy of the wall in center field. Chad Green thought he had given up a game-tying home run, but it went to die. Green pitched 2 scoreless. Bredin an inning and 2/3 scoreless. Retired all 5 batters he faced. Margot again to center field. And 2 men are out. Yankees are an out away from forcing a game 5. Their primary goal was to get to a 5th game and give their ace a chance, if that's the way they go with it. And I'm sure they will. Never know how these games are going to go, but barring a miracle comeback here by the Rays, I mean, we are set up for something special tomorrow.
Yeah.
Fully armed and loaded for a trip to the ALCS and a matchup with the Houston Astros. Mike Brasso against Chapman. 100 with the fastball. That's it. That's his best fastball yet in this inning. Threw 101 on Arozarena. You know who's got Chapman's attention, by the way, on the fastball velocity. Rays down to their last out. Had a big cut at it. 1-1 the count. Don't know who will start for Tampa Bay tomorrow. They have a lot of options. They could go with an opener. They have 2 starters in Snell and Glasnow. I think even Charlie Morton might be in the picture down the line. But they're going to have all their A relievers rested and ready to go as well. There's Garrett Cole. 1-2 the count. Chapman a strike away from putting this one in the books.
Been in that position before where Cole is, and it gets very quiet for you as you realize it's going to be, if he starts tomorrow, it's your day. It's on you.
I would be shocked if it wasn't. More shocked than an opener in game 2 for the Yankees. Let's put it that way. 1-2 the count. Chapman the long pause. He fires and he missed with it. 2-2 now. It is an unusual moment, right, for a starting pitcher like Cole and his team. He's going to watch them have a little mini celebration if they win this game. They'll be relaxed. They finish the game. Position players are different. Starters, especially when it is an all-stakes game, different set of circumstances for them.
Well, Cole also has the kind of gravitas that he could have said today or yesterday, I've got game 5.
Standing right behind his manager. Maybe he's telling him that right now, Ron. I got game 5, Aaron. Yeah, no kidding.
Don't even think about anything else. Don't be looking at any analytics sheets. No scripted starts.
Take the phones and the computers off the hooks. Unplug.
Matchups. Throw it all away.
First of a 9-year deal, Garrett Cole. A massive contract, record-setting contract. Got the win in game 1. He beat the Indians in game 1 of that wild card series. Struck out 13 across 7 innings. 6 innings in game 1 of this series.
He's beaten Bieber and Snell.
Full count to Brasso. 2 outs, 9th inning. Chapman trying to finish this one off for the Yankees. And Brasso is hanging tough.
But he's also going to be facing the best team in the American League. They proved it over 60 games.
With a loaded pitching staff.
A dugout full of gamers.
Chapman's pitch count at 22 right now. I don't know if he's taking a little extra time for dramatic effect or not, but a little extra moments between pitches. 8th pitch of the at-bat here against Brasso. He is hanging tough. And a swing and a miss, and that's it. 100-mile-an-hour fastball, a strikeout to end the game. And a roll as Chapman picks up the save. He's got a win and a save in this postseason. The Yankees win it 5-1. And we are set up for a game 5. Win or go home, and a date with the Houston Astros in the ALCS after tomorrow. Ronnie, going to be fun.
These games are surreal. Petco Park, Sinatra, New York, New York. Well, I haven't seen Chapman throw this hard in quite some time. 3 or 4 of his pitches were over 100. Great control other than the first walk. Some good sliders too, and he finishes off the Tampa Bay Rays for tonight, but a big game tomorrow.
This game worked to plan for Aaron Boone and the Yankees. Jordan Montgomery started, gave him 4, and the Yankees get 5 shutout innings from their bullpen tonight. Green, Britton, Chapman, 2 big swings of the bat for the New York Yankees. And Luke Voigt leading off the 2nd inning.
He caught a hanging slider from the opener, Ryan Thompson. That's his first postseason home run after leading all of baseball in home runs this year. And this was huge from Torres. Skinny 2-1 lead for the Yankees. 2-run home run pushes it to 4-1 and gives them some wiggling room.
5th postseason home run for Gleyber Torres. Let's send it down to Lauren Shahadi. She's got Luke Voigt.
Luke, look what you started. You led the league in home runs this year. That one in the 2nd a bit sweeter than all of them?
Oh, definitely. It's my first one in the playoffs, so that felt good. And, you know, I was struggling a little bit the last couple of days, so it felt good to finally hit something good. You know, I had a couple of other good at-bats tonight. So, yeah, that one definitely will be remembered forever. But I'm glad we got, you know, something going out front, you know, and taking the lead right there. So it's huge.
If I were to tell you one game, win or go home, Garrett Cole probably on the mound, you would say what?
That's why we gave him all that money. I said it before, and you know, he's a stone cold killer out there, and you know that's the guy we want on the mound. And you know, I don't know if he is or not, but I have a good probability he probably will be.
Does Grandma Jones still pay you $25 each home run you hit?
Yeah. Hey, Graham, I know you're watching this, and you owe me some money this year after 22, and then one in the postseason counts too. So whatever 25 times 22 is, that's what you owe me.
You got too expensive, right? You ask any Yankee, they thrive with their backs against the wall. Why?
I don't know. It's just the leadership we have in the locker room. It's passed on from all those 2000 teams, early 90s teams, into the clubhouse like Guardy, and then Judge has passed it on and Stan. And it's an unbelievable clubhouse. Everyone gets to be themselves, but also get held accountable for whatever they do. And we just have a lot of fun. And I'm excited for tomorrow, and it's gonna be a fun finale.
Congrats. See you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.
Brian.
All right, thanks a lot, Lauren. That was great. Grandma Jones got to pay up because 25 times 22, Ron.
Well, it's 23, Brian.
23 now.
That's right.
Add one more to it. 575.
There
now.
you go.
Okay. All right. Luke Voit hits a home run, puts the Yankees on the board first. Yankees win it. We force a game 5 here. This is going to be some fun tomorrow night. Coming up next, postseason show presented by the all-new Hyundai Elantra. For Ron Darling, Lauren Shahadi, the rest of our terrific crew here at TBS, led in the truck by Jeff Randolph and Matt Lipp. I'm Brian Anderson saying so long from San Diego. You've been watching the 2020 ALDS presented by Utz on TBS. TBS, your home for the 2020 American League pennant.